So this is multiplying polynomials. This is a review from Algebra 1. So we use a property called the distributive property. And the distributive property says I have three groups of x minus 5. I have three groups of x minus 5. So how much do I have total? So we distribute to each term 3 times x minus 3 times 5, and we get 3x minus 15. I walked around, the majority of you had no problems doing that. There is another way that we could show this. We could show it using a rectangle, kind of like area. We could show this with a 3, and up here an x, and a minus 5. And so I'm going to find the area of just this first box, 3x, 3 times x. And then I'm going to find the area of the second box. So I'm going to do 3 times negative 5, so negative 15. And then I put them together, 3x minus 15. So there's two ways to do this. You could distribute with the rainbows, or you could draw the boxes. So the second question, same thing. We could distribute rainbows. Rainbows are separated by plus or minus signs. So we have to only do it once to each term. And I would get negative 4 multiplied by 2x, and then minus negative 4 multiplied by 7. And we simplify all of that, so we get negative 8x plus 28. Can you guys guess where a lot of people make mistakes on question 2? Where do people normally make mistakes on question 2? Some of you made that mistake. Sierra, do you know where people might make mistakes on question 2? Oh, no. Not where you did it. I'm trying to remember who did this mistake. I don't remember who made this mistake. Do you think you know, Grace? Yeah, some people forget to pay close attention. I mean, when I ask you guys, you know, well, if I do a negative times a negative, that's a positive. But sometimes people just don't look at the negative outside and forget. Okay? All right, the next one. So this I had written on the board, but I erased it so I could pull this screen up. So this next one, we are distributing an x. Okay? When I multiply by x, I'm going to do this very first term here. When I multiply by x, when I multiply by x, this is the same thing as taking x multiplied by 5 times x times x. That's what x squared means. And then I can rearrange that. 5 times x times x times x. And then I can put it back together as 5x to the third. So when we multiply by x, we take the original amount of x's and the exponent changes. Not the number in front, but the exponent changes. And then, so the middle term, I've got a 3 multiplied by an x multiplied by another x. So plus 3x to the second. And then minus, we've got an x times a 1, which is just 1x. And I don't write the 1. I just know it's a 1, so I don't write the 1. So this would be my answer. I want to show you that as a rectangle as well. If we do it using rectangles, we would have our x over here. We would have our 5x, our 5x squared, our 3x, and our minus 1, and we'd separate that into rectangles. And then you'd multiply x times 5x squared, so I get 5x to the third. X times 3x is 3x squared. And then x times minus 1 is minus 1x. and then we put them all together right there. So you could do either method. So for this next one, when I multiply y squared times 5y cubed, I get a 5, and then I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 y's, y to the 5th. So I'm writing this out. I do not normally write that out, especially not in Algebra 2. If you need to, then do it. I'm just showing it today so we can review things that we've done in the past, and so you can visualize where I'm getting that 5 from. But I don't normally write them out. Y squared times 2y squared is going to be y times times 2 times y, which gives me a positive 2y to the 4th. And then we have minus y times a 3. So minus 3y squared. So we're just distributing for each of those. All right, then the next section is starting at number 9. So number 9 is different because we have 2 terms times 2 terms. We've got an x plus 4 and an x plus 2. It's just not one thing outside of that parenthesis. It's now 2 things. So I'm going to show you both methods. The first method I'm going to show you is the box method. This is what I feel like students tend to prefer. So I've got an x plus 4. And then on the side, I'll have an x plus 2. And so I'm going to multiply x times x, which is x to the 2nd. In this box, I'll multiply 4 times x. In this box down here, I'm going to multiply 2 times x. And then the last box, I'm going to multiply 4 times 2. Now remember our rules. If they have the same variable, the same exponent, same variable, same power, exponent, then they are like terms. And we can only add together like terms, and we should add together like terms. So I'm going to have x squared plus, I add 2 plus 4, and I get 6x plus 8. So that's the box method, or area. And then the other method, exact same question, other method, exact same question. There's actually more methods than this, but the other method I'm going to do today is the FOIL method, the FOIL method. And that's where we do first, which we take x and we multiply it by x squared. Then O stands for outer, so this is first. This is outer. This is inner. And this is last. So the outer would be x times, I want to keep that the same color, x times 2, so 2x. And then inner would be 4 times x, 4x. And then last would be 4 times 2, which is 8. And we still have these like terms to combine. So we get x squared plus 6x plus 8. So either method, you can get to the correct answer. Either method. Number 21 has got something going on. Okay. Let me skip ahead. Let's look at number 12. And as you guys do this worksheet, I have put these kind of in sections with the similar ones in a line. They're similar for the most part because you know what we're getting ready to do. And you should have done this in Algebra 1 too, but probably not a ton. is we're getting ready to do something called factoring, where I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to give you that, and you have to unmultiply it. You have to figure out what you multiply together to get x squared plus 6x plus 8. So that's why we're starting by just multiplying them together so we can kind of remind ourselves how we got that in the first place. So for this one, if we're going to do the box method or if we're going to do the FOIL method, either is fine. I'm going to have x minus 1, x minus 6, and x times x is x squared. X times minus 1 is minus x. X times minus 6 is minus 6x. And a minus 6 times a minus 1 is a positive 6. You'll notice this doesn't always happen, but very often these are going to add together. So x squared minus 7x plus 6 would be our answer for that one. Okay, I'm going to skip all the way to number 21. Actually, you know what? I'm going to skip all the way to, I'm looking at time, number 30. Let's skip all the way to number 30. Okay? So for number 30, squared means there's two of them. So your first step for any time that it says squared is you have to write x plus 7 times x plus 7. Your first step, if you see squared, is you have to write both of them. Then I can multiply. So you can make the box and do the box method, or this time I'll do the FOIL method. Change it up a little bit so I can appeal to everybody in here. Okay? So if you see squared, you have to write it twice. And then there's one more kind that I really want to talk about. It's really important. We'll just do the one right underneath it, number 33. So this would be like 2 times x minus 2 times x minus 2. That's my first step. Now, in math, if I told you, totally random story here, totally off on the side here. If I told you, can you multiply 2 times 3 times 5? How would you do that? Oh no, we don't know how to multiply that? Come on. How would you do this? Who's going to talk? Somebody talk. Jackson.
2 times 3 and 3 times 6 times 5.
You're going to do 2 times 3 first, 6, times 5, 30. Give me 2 seconds. You can only do 2 things at a time. So in this case, you're going to multiply 2 of them together first. I would get x squared minus 4x plus 4. You guys aren't in a hurry. We're about to have a fire drill. Then you would take that answer and distribute the 2. 2x squared minus 8x plus 8. So your assignment by next class is to complete this worksheet. Look for an upload.